Hi, Sagittarius North Node. My name is Melissa. Melissa means honeybee, and Honeybee U Tarot was really created to help all of us to remember that we are all connected, that we are all one, and we are a community. Which means if we are all one, that all of our individual healing and choices and purposes are important for the collective. So we want to stay in our highest sort of sense of self. So, okay, so I'm doing North Node readings today. My readings, it's been really hard to get going. It's so odd. It's maybe Mercury retrograde. I just heard that Venus is stationing today, so it's kind of like Venus is stopped. So that, along with Mercury retrograde, may be kind of jacking with me a little bit. But the readings have been great. It's just kind of slow on the uptake. So, all right. I could not get a archetype, one or two archetypes to come out. They just were coming out like in mass. So instantly that told me that you probably are going through a lot. You're being maybe if you're not going through a lot of individual little things, that what you are going through is massive, right? It might be a new massive understanding, as I see in the cards that came out. So I shuffled. I kept asking, please, if you've ever watched me, I will not take stacks of cards that come out most of the time unless I really kind of get a sense that that's part of the message, and then I just have to work my way through it. So I did finally go ahead and take 5 archetype cards that came out, the Wild Unknown Archetypes from Kim Krantz. I'm not going to read all of them, but I will show you all of them, and I'm just going to give you kind of like an overview of what I think is the takeaway. I might read a few words from the cards that I think are relevant as I start to talk. Okay, so you got the heart. Okay, really beautiful. Then you got the shadow. Very interesting together, along with the shaman, okay? Along with, crazy, the one. Along with the thread, okay? And the hunter at the bottom of the deck, okay? That looks very Sagittarian, doesn't it? All right, so my overview impression here, what's coming to me is that the archetypal energy that is around you is really forcing you or pulling you in, definitely towards your North Node, which is to become much more in tune and attuned to your intuition, to the mysteries of life and how you are experiencing them in very real time, how you are kind of making sense of your own individual mystical experiences, maybe, if you will, and then how you are seeing that as part of a larger piece of existence. And that's big, that's giant, that's big stuff, right? It's not logical. It's experiential. It's it there are experiences and sort of inner knowings that you can't like explain to anyone. You can try, but those of us who have experienced things that are just inexplicable, you can't explain it. You can't. And once you start to make sense of it and part of like the greater reality of existence, it's a different reality, that even becomes, even more difficult to try to articulate, right? And it just, I feel like this stuff, you're wrestling with it right now. You're dealing with it. You're really in it, honestly. You're really in it. So I will read, I went ahead and kind of, there's, a lot. So I marked some of these pages, but I'm not sure what is where. Good tips. Okay. Should have done that. All right, the heart. I'm just going to read like some key words, okay? The home, the center of the throne. Recall the last time your heart was touched. Soak in every detail you can and feel the heart awaken. Some say there is a cave at the center of the heart. Others say it's a pool with a flowering white lotus. Imagine yourself there and draw what you see. When in light, expansive, knowing, gentle clarity. When dark, fraught, tangled, and betrayal. Okay, expansive, that is you on your north node. Knowing, gentle clarity, right? It's just this knowing, like, in fact, it's a space like where you don't even need others to affirm your experiences or your what you know to be true. It's just your experience. Here I am, I can't even explain it. Okay. Let's see. This card encourages us to move past the layers of life's tangles and knots and enter the wild and sacred center of the self. The most precious throne in the galaxy is awaiting your return, which is an interesting word since at the bottom of the deck of your past life experiences that are influencing you right now was the galactic. Okay, so got lots of themes here. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna read everything. Okay, so then the shadow, we have the unspeakable, the unwelcome, and the denied, right? The shadow is that part of us that we would rather not acknowledge. And we definitely don't want others to know or call out, right? But the interesting thing is the higher you get, the more awakened or enlightened. I don't like that awakened word, but the more enlightened you become, the more you grow in your spiritual practice, the stronger those shadow aspects will try, or they'll either show up, right, for you to deal with, or, well, you can be challenged by them externally as well. So let's see. In the shadow of the gods are the very gods themselves. That's a quote. Reflect on this statement by James Hillman in A Blue Fire. What do you despise about yourself? By answering, you move towards the shadow. Contemplate the following scientific observation. The closer an object, a person, place, or community is to the light, the longer the shadow it casts. The longer the shadow it casts. Okay. When light, revealing unconscious aspects of the self and world. Okay, so like I said, it's like you're becoming more and more aware of just your own existence and experiences that are like beyond the logical rational, and then you're bringing to light like more of your concepts of reality or existence itself. And then when dark, denying unconscious aspect of the self and world. By rejecting parts of ourselves in the world, we begin to separate from the whole. Rather than getting to know the qualities and content of our shadow, we busy ourselves with avoiding its presence. This is denial. When this card appears, it is time to take inventory of those things you've been denying. When the mind responds with, no, anything but that, you are touching shadow. Find support for this deep inner work and move toward the shadow with patience and compassion. Absolutely. Okay, now then you got the shaman. Oh. Then you got the shaman. Some incense up my nose. Okay. And the shaman, really embraces death as a part of life and is really kind of at one with all of nature and capable of understanding healing from different dimensions, if you will. But let's see. The Magi, the sorcerer, and the medicine woman. Contrary to popular belief, the shaman archetype appears in every vocation. Teachers, directors, surgeons, politicians, and poets are just a few of the faces of that a shaman may wear. The shaman can't be rushed. Working with this archetype requires study and perseverance. Think of it like brining or marinating. The content must permeate every fiber of its being. When light, fearless student and practitioner. When dark, overpromises, blames, hurts self and others. Okay. The shaman has a knack for finding doorways to the other world, allowing psychic visions and old magic to leak into this world, the unseen. In this way, the shaman is a master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet, where there is power, there is shadow. Okay? So there is like this real relationship and understanding here, right? Like there's the healer, the shadow, into the shaman. They're all, and it moves forward. All these other cards can continue to go on. But so the shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. So interesting that I said that earlier, that your healing is a part of the collective healing, and it is important that once we do start our own healing journey, that in some way, shape, or form, we already know that if we don't hide it in shame or fear of rejection, that it then becomes like a healing force, for all. Fearless student and practitioner, when in light and when in dark, overpromises, blames, hurts self and others. Okay. Did that one. And then we've got So the one, right? Like we're all connected. Did I not mark it? No, I didn't. All right. The one, non-duality, one love, unus mundus. Unus mundus is a circle representing the unity of existence. Is it possible that the beginning and the end of all things is love? It is said that Om is the primordial sound of the universe and that all other mantras are born from it. Simply imagining this possibility will activate the one. This card has come out. I don't remember if it came out today for Scorpio. Was it Scorpio or was it Libra? But yeah, many of us are experiencing some of the same energies, and I shuffle a lot in between the different readings. I have other clients that I, will shuffle in between, and then I shuffle, clear and cleanse before your reading. So, for that to come out again is, to me, I mean, it needs to come out, and I think it's part of, you are part of the collective. And these are things that we need to be really considering in our new world. Really catching up, right? Like this reality needs to be accepted. I shouldn't use the word need, but it needs to be accepted. Because there's so much strength in, understanding that how much we can do, how much healing we can do, how much change we can bring when we're looking through a different lens at, reality and what is important. But anyway, when in light, serves, loves, accepts, and resonates, and when dark, ignores, omits, and excludes. Huge. All right. Okay. Let's see. A few words from. I mean, we're all united. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness, and neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. All duality fades away, and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. And the final one is the thread, right? There's nothing for you really to go seeking. You are already in the great web, right, of not only your existence and purpose and meaning, but as part of the purpose of this, this, remember the reference to Om, like the beingness of all. The path, the vein, the circuit. Recall a moment in your life when you felt fully alive. The thread is waiting for you amid the details of that memory. You may think you have to find the thread and pull it. Imagine, though, that it's already tied around you, waiting for you to follow it home. When in light, the circuit of meaning within chaos, and when dark, binding, frustrating, and taught. Life is a tangle. So much happens simultaneously and circuitously, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, we strike the deepest vein in the body. Our whole being responds to its tug. Meaning is pumped through our bloodstream. Our mind and spirits are lifted. We remember who we are and what we came into this world to do. So there you go. All right. So when I looked at the past life influences, that may be influencing you at this time, at the bottom of the deck was the galactic. You may be or you may be feeling extremely sensitive right now. You may be feeling that you're not understanding your world, our world, human beings, people, why is everybody acting like, can't they see, don't they understand? Like, you may be feeling very, very sensitive and disconnected and just really kind of maybe enjoying this space here. The card that came out was Mother. So you may be grappling with an issue concerning your mother, some healing that needs or could be worked on, needs to take place. Or potentially your mother, maybe your mother, kind of talked to you about all of this, and maybe you two incarnated because you really enjoyed each other and she was going to, be a fellow traveler with you during this time, or plant those seeds for you so that when you reach this time, that would kind of come back to you, start to bud and flower. Yeah, so yeah, like in the heart. So just something for you to consider and think about. We are going to do the reading. I just want to pull these oracle cards first. I don't even know what. I'm going to put these all up here. Okay, so then we're going to look at the Life Purpose Oracle deck from Doreen Virtue. Let's see. Okay. And these cards were from Past Life Oracle deck from Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss. And okay, so the Life Purpose Oracle deck, the card that came out was Freedom. You're free to do what you choose. You are free to do what you choose. And you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. So interesting. Okay, so I'm going to read out of Freedom. I love the playfulness, right? The dolphins in the back. Freedom. This card is a gentle reminder that you aren't a victim of outside circumstances and that you have choices in everything you do. The angels are helping shift you away from complaining that you're a victim of others who control you. Instead, heaven is shining the light upon your wise decision to take responsibility for yourself, your life, and your happiness. As you accept the role you've played in creating your present circumstances, you feel a corresponding sense of relief and freedom. The insight of self-responsibility frightens some initially, as it seems to carry the weight of blame. I just need to stop here and say that if you did have a difficult childhood and a difficult mother, maybe someone who, criticized you, shamed you, blamed you, wasn't loving, wasn't caring, wasn't nurturing, it may be very difficult for you to, in many ways, the manifestations of that, are vast. But if there is some healing to do around, your mother, you might want to consider that as well. Okay, as part of this, okay, the angels help see that blame is a waste of time because it focuses upon past events. Instead, they empower you to envision a bright today and tomorrow for yourself and your loved ones. You have the right to change your life. You needn't wait for another's permission to take charge of your destiny. Trust your feelings to guide you toward activities and a career that are meaningful and fulfilling in every way. And it sounds like you are already on the right path. You just need to trust it, and you can say your prayers asking for confirmations on your path that from angels, guides, God, spirit, whatever, grandma passed away on the other side, whatever you call out to for that extra spiritual support, that you are given signs, synchronicities. People are put in front of you that you need to meet for opportunities, those kinds of things. Okay, so let's look at what are the current challenges present for you right now. Sagittarius, North Node, Sagittarius North Node. Let me knock this off of here. Sagittarius North Node. Sagittarius North Node. Dealing with some relationship issues. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to take it in reverse. It looks like there is some not so pleasant verbal fighting. Something is not why do I keep hearing not fair? All right, so this is the card, okay? So, there's definitely been some sort of a issue, right? Some sort of a fight, some sort of a conflict where someone is feeling pretty good, right? Feeling like they're going to be the victor. But as you all know, there's not, when there's a loser, there is no winner. I mean, we want to problem solve, okay? But in the reverse, it could be that things aren't being said that need to be said, or it's extremely ugly. And it's continuing, and it hasn't ended, and it's going on and on and on. But, okay. So there's the Tower moment, there's strength here. Let's see. At the bottom of the deck was strength. It may be that you need to kind of dig deep in and recognize that, it's important that you restrain yourself from saying ugly, hurtful things that you can't take back, because that could destroy everything, or maybe your world is being destroyed, but that doesn't mean you have to be a part of the, kind of ugliness of it. Think about, let's just get a clarifier. I'm not really sure here. Definitely change and conflict in the air. Why did 5 come out in reverse? And just so you guys know, I put every single card in the upright so that if it comes out reversed, I know it was meant to be reversed. I don't like reading reversals. They're just a little bit more challenging. Okay, yeah. Okay, so 2 of Cups. Okay. So this could be a relationship, a partnership. There's maybe some strife in your relationship, or a need or a desire to, like, maybe get some help, maybe work with a counselor, collaborate with someone else, restore some calm and balance into the situation. Well, let's see if we get any more information. Okay, what strengths? What strengths are you bringing forward right now? What strengths are you bringing forward from your South Node? Okay, well, you're an idea person. I think you're done. I don't know. Are you done? Are you done with this relationship? Are you done with the fighting? You got the Magician. Okay. You have everything you need to create whatever it is that you want. And the wand is pointing up towards, you know, the higher realms and the spiritual, and his, you know, it kind of is a straight line, I don't know, pointing down towards the earth and the material world, right? So anything that I can conceive of, anything that I desire and wish for, right? The Nine of Cups, I can create, and I'm determined to create that. I'm a South Node Gemini. If I can think it up, if I can come up with the plan, you know, I can do it. And I'm full of ideas. I'm inventive. I'm a problem solver. I am done. Put a fork in it. Or 10 swords, you know, either way. So, you know, this is better than swirling and twirling around in the 9, right? The 9 of Swords is just, you know, I'm up all night. I've got anxiety. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to. 10. All right, let's just end this, right? And if we end it, then there just necessarily will be a new beginning. And you see that sun rising up, right? It's not all black. It's not all bleak. The sun is rising after the storm is clearing away. Okay, and we let this thing die. I mean, how many swords does it take, right? How many times do we have to keep going through this over? Like I said, the argument, the arguing, the nastiness, you know, over and over and to go over. It's just like, ugh, get me out of here, right? So, and it may be, you know, one of your strengths, like when I'm done, I'm done. Let's get a clarifier here. What is this about? Strengths that North Node Saggies are bringing forward. Strengths. I mean, you want to be happy. You want to feel fulfilled. You don't want to keep going round and round and round and round and round. And I don't know, maybe you've had a change of perspective, or have gained some enlightenment, you know, from the archetypal energy that is kind of helping you to see things in a different light so that you can stop, you know, all of this. Again, this is a general reading, and it could, I don't know, it could play out multiple ways, but you know, take what resonates for you and leave the rest. And if it doesn't resonate, then this isn't for you. Yeah. Okay, so Two of Swords, Nine of Swords. Remember I said, nobody wants that, right? He's still alive dealing with it, freaking out. It's a horrible card. And Princess of Pentacles. Like, I think it took you some time. Yeah. You finally have surrendered to whatever kind of is, right? Like, this just is not going anywhere. We're not resolving anything, as an example. And it may be that you needed to take some time to really go within, to really, kind of metaphorically sit by the light of the moon and connect with your intuition and just make peace that a decision is going to have to be made. This isn't sustainable. I want peace. I want to be innate. I want to feel, the harmony of being maybe in nature, being like just kind of like returning back to myself and the things that I want to create and the things that I want to build in my life. Yeah. Like, I just got to return back to harmony and stability and security. Like, all this is not, no. I want freedom, right? Freedom to go be do. I don't get off my back. I just heard get off my back. Okay? So, what tendencies for you to leave behind, Sagittarius North Node? Tendencies to leave behind. Tendencies to leave behind. Okay. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. They were like, we're not saying anything to me, sing Hit the road, Jack. Okay. So, Three of Swords in reverse. Don't be the victim. Takes two. Even if you were in an abusive situation or you really were trying to work things out and you really were trying to placate, or all the different things that we do to try to save, or we believe we're saving, or bringing back to life a toxic, cyclical, unending, unhealthy relationship dynamic. There still is a role that we play in that. And that is something that you can delve into, with a counselor. Many times that's codependency issue or a lack of boundaries. Don't, let's grieve. Okay, let's deal with disappointment. Let's not be a victim. Let's not blame or deny that this is even happening. That is not helpful at all. That will keep you locked in a toxic situation. Look at here. I always say about this card, right? So here, bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords, okay? For me, this can be looked at in two different ways. We're looking at tendencies to leave behind, okay? So what I think is you probably didn't want to make a decision. You didn't want to know the truth. You didn't want to deal with what was, right? When I see this card come out, I often say it's like that Ace of Swords, or that one sword, right, comes down. See how she's crossing her arms in front of her heart? See the swords? I don't want to know. I don't want to deal with the truth. Something comes up and a truth comes and she has to deal with it, or he or this being has to deal with it, and it breaks her heart and it hurts. And now we get to start dealing and healing and feeling instead of denying or blaming or playing a victim. Leave this behind. It's not helpful. You will not grow if you do that, right? None of us grow when we blame. We have to look at what, maybe you did do everything. Like I said, maybe you were giving. Well, that's something to work on, Okay. Do you want to clarify? Okay, so I said, that was from the last one. We'll get a clarifier. Okay. Lots of swords here. Wow. Lots of swords. So gotta put this upside down or reverse. Okay. Clarifier for, yeah. All right. Justice. Justice at the bottom of the deck, right? Potentially a legal situation, maybe a divorce coming up. It could also be, just double checking to make sure there wasn't another flipper. This could be a balancing out of karmic energy. Could be that card that was over here, that mother card. This could be an issue with your mother, although it is Two of Cups here. Could be that your past life mother incarnated as a lover and there was a difficult relationship from your past life that needed to be balanced out here. There's always a potential. I'm putting it out there. Okay, so Seven of Pentacles along with Two of Wands. Taking some time to figure out what is worth keeping and what needs to be discarded. You see that image? Seven is, for me, it's about potential. So we've got to look at, do I want to move forward? This is, a lot has happened here. A lot has been lost. Is there anything that is salvageable? And I think you decide, no, I'm going to look outward towards other vistas. I'm going to put didn't we have another one where there was I remember, put my new thoughts and dreams out there for the future. This isn't working. Maybe you created this situation. I mean, that's another possibility. You know, another possibility, you know, you were um locked in a situation because there was this, you were kind of caught in between, you know, the classic thing, right? The struggle between, you know, in being in relationship, and uh, or being free, you know, being in a secure relationship provides stability, safety, versus feeling that like freedom and sexy, you know, I can go and do whatever. And maybe you created, or that conflict within you maybe created conflict within the relationship. And, you know, there really still doesn't need to be blame uh, at all. It's just it is what it is, right? Some relationships cannot handle that amount of freedom, and some absolutely cannot handle too much togetherness and restriction by the couple, right? The codependency. Let's face it. All right. Um, so what to focus on to contribute to the collective? So now we're back to looking, you know, kind of at some purpose, and again, your own personal healing sometimes. So what? Oh no, we're not going to do this again. All right, let's do it. All right, so we've got conflict again. This one can be more kind of, if it's external, it's not as harmful, right? It's just like working things out. Like if you are in the midst of a divorce, it might be kind of, you know, who gets what, how are we going to divide things. It doesn't have to be contentious necessarily. It can also be, you know, other people telling you what you should be doing or asking for, or how you should be, you know, living your life or what have you. But many times I see this as more of an internal conflict, right? Because wands are about fire energy, passion, life force. So if there's a conflict here, this could be like your little internal committee. Well, you know, what are we doing here? I don't know. Should we do this? Should we do that? Should I? Can I? Right? Knight of Swords. He looks pretty fierce and like he's a man on a mission, or a person on a mission. He's going to get what he wants. He's going to charge in verbal and mental energy, right? So quick, moving, jagged, you know, coming in quick, right? And then Knight of Wands, very impulsive, full of passion as well. Both of these knights, you know, they're immature energies, not as immature as this guy at the bottom of the deck. You know, he's kind of like, he withholds information. He like was listening to whispers in the wind, gossip, right? But what to focus on? Okay, so these young energies coming in quickly, conflict. I'm going to time out. All right, let me think about this for a second here. It could be that some issue does need to be worked out and resolved. But if you can learn to kind of take a pause or take some time to connect with your intuition, like we said earlier, or, with your higher, with your higher power, take some time to really get clear and conscious. And speak more from the heart. When situations come up that require swift response, the rescue heroes, like we've got to get them in quickly. If you can tap into that kind of calmer sense of self that is more mindful and more responsive and not less reactive, that might be something that that is worthy of focusing on right now, is practicing becoming more mindful, less reactive. And quite frankly, that is the best way to problem solve, from a responsive place that is not rushing in impulsively and angrily and, in fight, flight, freeze, or, dissociate kind of mentality. I mean, you're not thinking straight. So how can you really problem solve? It's just all over the place. So that is something for you to consider working on and to focus on. Let's see, we'll get one clarifier to focus on to contribute to the collective. Yeah, the Hermit came out, so going within, or the Hermit is at the bottom of the deck. Now, come on, I did. Oh, yeah. And we've got the Three of Swords upright. Okay, this is good. All right. So now this is the Three of Swords upright, right? I am going to deal with and take time to deal with disappointment, heartbreak, grief, I just do not like these beings here. They're kind of they kind of remind me of like a Dr. Spock kind of energy, right? Like just robotic. It's okay to allow yourself to feel the pain and the reality of of disappointment, betrayal, death even. So that you don't have to defend against it. You don't have to rage against it. You don't have to, blame shift. You don't have to do the things that maybe you learned to protect yourself from, maybe as a kid. Maybe that was a coping mechanism, but it's not helping in healthy relationships potentially. And so we got the Hermit, which is a card of Virgo, and then the High Priestess underneath that, right? So it's getting in touch with taking a conscious time out to go up on the mountain and work with healing and considering, consciously meditating and understanding sort of how life has shown up for you and how you are showing up for life, and that no one gets a pass. Like, everyone has a cross. How do we sort of resolve that good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people? And, is there, what's the meaning of all of this? And, but take some time to go within, get connected to yourself, maybe spend some time in nature and really get in touch with this High Priestess, intuitive, non-dualistic, all is one. I feel like maybe go somewhere and take like a meditation class or mindfulness and meditation, or practice yoga or something like that. And bring that peace and awareness. It can only come back once you do that healing, can only come back to the collective ultimately. So, what obstacles to be aware of? What obstacles to be aware of? Okay. King of Cups. Okay. And the Moon. Okay. This is and the bottom of the deck is Six of Cups. So it's water energy here, right? I think be aware of deceiving yourself or others because you want, that love bubble. Do the inner child work. And the shadow work, really. I mean, we've got the Moon here, right? Which the Moon is dark and the sun, illuminates it. And we've got this full moon here. We are coming up on a full moon eclipse, okay? So you may be dealing with lots of emotions and some intense energy. I don't, I'm having a hard time articulating the different things I want to say. The moon, right, is Cancer, and that does rule the mother. So maybe be careful of being kind of stuck in, if there was a difficult relationship with your mother, maybe be careful that you're not shoving those painful feelings down. It's time to illuminate them and bring them up. And when the moon is brought up, right, when the shadow comes up, we do have to look at it. We do have to face it. We do have to deal with it, and we integrate it, right? We integrate it into our journey, the way we make sense of our life, the wisdom that we have gained. But the longer that we kind of refuse, like, I don't talk about that, the longer it's going to take to create a life that I think most of us want. We want, whole, healed, whole, healthy relationships. Okay, so be aware that you're not staying stuck in that darkness. Okay, how the collective needs you. Okay, how we need you. North Node, how do we need you? World card wants to come out. How do we need you? How do we need Sagittarius, North Node? How do we need Sagittarius, North Node, please? How do we need? How does the collective need Sagittarius, North Node, to show up? Well, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let's just go through this and walk through it. So we have the Nine of Swords, the bottom of the deck. Okay, worry, staying up all night. I can't imagine we need you doing that. Underneath that, though, we do have independence, right? Trusting in life, trusting in my ability to manifest what I want. Underneath that, the 10 of Cups. Happy family. Happy, all the things that bring joy. My heart's gonna burst. Grief. Okay. The cards that came out were the Chariot. I am a warrior. And I am going to drive and be responsible for driving my own chariot, my own car, my own life in a direction that is right for me, that is balanced, but not yet. I don't think, he's kind of at pause. He's been through a lot. Okay? He's been through the first leg of his journey through the trump cards. Okay? So now he's going to deal with some of the bigger issues of life. But he's not moving here. Okay, so he's taking a pause. Okay. This guy looks like a sneaky Pete, right? Can't trust him. Why would we need that? I think what we need is for you to take some time, maybe to look back over maybe through some difficult words maybe were said or lies were told, and it's time to maybe right those. Knight of Cups. This guy is very reminiscent of the Death card, which is Scorpio, which is transformation, transmuting death, right? They're very similar. This could be asking you to offer a cup of love, compassion, something. It may be in words only. You may not feel it as deeply as, as you would like. But it may be the expression, the offer, that is the most important thing right now. Okay. While maintaining boundaries. This doesn't mean like we go back and we start going around the cycle again. Okay, it doesn't matter who. There is no fault here, but we're not doing that. We're off the hamster wheel and we're going to maintain boundaries. I'm holding my boundaries. Okay. And I am expanding. I'm expanding my beliefs in what is possible. I'm expanding my vision. I'm expecting that what I put out into the world is what will return to me. And I know that I can create, I can heal, I can manifest whatever it is I want, I need, but I have to think bigger. I have to think more expansively. I have to trust. concern myself more with that than anything. I'll get a clarifier here. A clarifier for this. Was that the only? No, it wasn't. Haha. Yes, baby. Why? For healing. Unconditional love, grace, hope, love, abundant love, flowing over. Like I said in the beginning, we all need to do our healing, because what we do in our own work is absolutely going to affect the collective. We all need to. We all need to face our shadow. We all need to deal with our wounding and heal and rise up. You know, I was kind of, as I was talking, I was kind of wondering, like, why am I saying this? I haven't said this to, I don't think I've started off any of the videos in that manner, but maybe you needed to hear that. New beginning for love, and what that looks like, and moving towards something that feels exciting and, you know, fulfilling and passionate and healing and blah, 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 boom. Right? The healing card, the star, hope and healing. Moving towards hope and healing. The death card was underneath that. Okay. And best possible outcome. Best possible outcome for Sagittarius North Node. Doing their work. Ten of Pentacles wants to come out. Okay. Abundance, all the things. The castle, right? Wealth. It's interesting. Mercury's in retrograde. I wonder how that affects, like, other readers or people who use their hands. Like, if it gets, I've got a book, I should look that up. I feel like I am just all thumbs. Oh my gosh. Aw. Best possible outcome. Well, it doesn't get any better than that. Rainbows, happiness, joy, the kids, the dog, 2.5, you know, the people there, they look like the cup, right? They're in the shape of the cup. The adults. Yay, so you do your healing, and this is the best possible outcome in a mutually interdependent, balanced relationship where we each are giving and we each are taking, and we're, you know, we do this back and forth. No one is all take, right? And no one is always give. Wowzers. That's beautiful. Oh my God. So happy for you. You gotta do the work, whatever the work is, okay? And there's no, I'm not saying there's a good guy. I'm not saying there's a bad guy. I'm just saying I'm trying to read the cards. Okay? All right. Rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time. Oh, rabbit. Funny bun. Pretty. Now is a lucky time. Great. Sagittarius. All about the luck. Sandpiper spirit. Be playful. Okay. Be playful. Let's see. What number? 51, 6. All right. Sandpipers are like cute little clowns poking their beaks into the sand before darting off to chase the waves. The appearance of sandpiper spirit is a sign that now is the time to engage your playfulness. Whatever tasks you have before you, perform them with the lightness of being. Remember the dolphins, the playful dolphins in Freedom? Okay. You may have been thinking about this situation for a long time, right? Just understand you're on the right track. Okay. Is a sign now to give it whatever, la 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 la. Explore the familiar, discovering the new in the old. Who knows what treasures await you when you let yourself laugh and have fun. Sandpiper spirit's happy and curious nature can help you feel rejuvenated as you remember your ability to run and fly and dance playfully. Protection message. When your heart is heavy and life seems to weigh you down, Sandpiper Spirit's message is to lighten your burden by finding joy and humor in the everyday. Become like a playful child, filled with curiosity and wonder, and soon you will find you feel your own spirit lift. A few minutes or hours of fun-filled delight is exactly what you need now. Please go out in nature. Enjoy the ridiculousness of life and be willing to jump in. Let your inner goof out to express itself with abandon. Okay. Sagittarius North Node. I hope this reading was helpful. And I wish you well. I wish you peace. I wish you joy and freedom and healing. Okay, take care until next time. Bye-bye.